Felt a girl's boob today and I felt absolutely nothing. What that gives? You've just realized that it matters whose boobs you're touching. Don't get too hung up on this. Real life sex is different from imaginary sex, and takes a while to get used to. But it's worth it. You want to know what is really intoxicatingly sexy? Touching a woman on her breasts or elsewhere and having her respond in pleasure. Again, this takes practice, but it's well worth it. I'd want my money back too if I'd been a boob all my life. The boobs are parts of an entire human being. Did you feel like it was like touching a boob sticking through a hole in the wall as if detached from the person? Like a personal milestone or achievement for yourself? If so, that's why you don't feel better now than you did before. You felt no human connection. You sound like Denji from Chainsaw Man. It can be also that you need an emotional connection to the person. Sure, you like boobs, like how I like certain traits from men. But if I'm not emotionally invested in the person, I don't really care about it. Boobs are great, but you hit the nail on the head. The best part of feeling boobs is that a girl you are into is actually letting you play with and fondle them. That is the sexy part, otherwise they're just fleshy bags that sometimes get in the way. There may be a lot of moments like this in your life to come. Big moments we have imagined that aren't like in the movies with swelling music and golden lighting. For example, getting married or having a baby or winning the big game. Other sex stuff, it's just you in human reality and may not live up to expectations. Anyway, the lesson here I think is that there's less for you to be anxious about. You've got a glimpse at reality and the stakes aren't as grand as you were in awe of. You can relax and pursue them with less fear of missing out or not being perfect. Get in your head, bro. It's about her wanting you to touch them. Letting you touch them. Her getting off on you wanting to touch them. The hottest thing in life is seeing someone else's sexual pleasure and knowing you did that for them and they wanted it from you. You've trained your brain from years of inventing a feeling in your head to think you touching them will radiate a sexual feeling through you. But touching in and of itself won't do that. Only your sexual thoughts and the give and take of sex will deliver what you want. Or at least that's how it works for me. Thumbs up with light skin tone. Congratulations! You learned your first real lesson about sex. You built up the fantasy of what to expect, and when you actually experienced it, it was nothing like you had dreamed of. And that's an important lesson to learn. Your fantasies will almost always be better than reality. But reality has its own upsides, and while they're not all as salacious and extreme as your fantasies, they are more important. Just touching a boob isn't really a big thing on its own. It's just flesh. Well, now you've discovered a basic fact of existence that, if assimilated properly, can lead to personal growth and a better understanding of self. Touching a boob _DOESNT change a damn thing about your life except for the fact that you have now touched a boob whereas before you hadn't. That's it. That's what touching a boob gets you. This can be a great moment, liberating, even. Now you know that validation can't be obtained from others. Whatever hang-ups you have about yourself are for you to figure out and no one can do it for you. You deserve absolutely no compensation. You bought into those fantasies. Now it's up to you to realize that a boob, as pretty as it may be, is just a boob. From now on, just touch boobs because they're nice and you have an invitation ofs, and set your expectations responsibly. Stop watching porn. Boobs are nice, but it should be the girl they are hooked to. What did you expect to happen because you fell for the same issue that every immature person does? Fantasy does not equal reality. Fantasy is just that. You can act on it, but reality just can't even keep up with it. And that's if it's even possible. You might have that fantasy that just isn't achievable, like hooking up with an alien species from a fictional piece. There's nothing wrong with having fantasy. But as you mature into an adult, you have to come to terms that there is a difference between the stuff you fantasize about, and the stuff that in reality actually plays for you. I've been a boob all my life. Same here, brother. You were all about you. Sex was all about what you got to do or touch. In all your fantasy life, you never once considered that it's about two people together and the pleasure they give each other. It was all about you. When it came down to it, you don't turn you on. Because it was just you and some girl parts. Your fantasy was about boobs. You got boobs. Maybe try to find the whole woman attractive, with boobs as your favorite part, because that's what being a boob man actually is. Denji core, bro, everything's better in your head. I love touching my wife's boobs, but it's mostly the romantic relationship we have that makes it nearly as much fun to do as it is. Same for her butt and most other body parts. Lol, couldn't get past the "I've been a boob all my life."